Next, we're going to hear from Pat Bailey from Out and Equal, who, Pat, I'm so excited that you're here today to talk to us about what things you're seeing from your vantage point kind of across lots of different workplaces and what people are doing and thinking about and finding that's especially successful for them in creating safe and welcoming spaces.
Thanks, Melissa, and appreciate that. Appreciate all the good information that's come out so far at all different levels on how to be allies and how to be involved in your companies. And what I'm going to try to do is take a little look at what's happening in the workplace. And if you're looking, saying, what are your expectations? What do you want to do when you get a job? When you get out of school, or if you're still in school and you're getting a job, do you just want that job? Do you want to keep your job and be able to be out as LGBT? Are you starting to look at things like equal benefits for yourself and your family? How about safety in the workplace? Where your job is just productive and meaningful, and being able to bring your whole self into work. So those are some of the questions that we start to ask when we start evaluating workplaces and saying, what happens when you get out of school and now you're looking for a job? So there's some tools that we're going to give you, because what we see is that employees, when they get into the workplace, 17% in a study recently done called Degrees of Equality by HRC have a fear of getting fired as part of the reason they don't come out. Another 13% talk about fear for their own personal safety. Starts to sound a little bit like bullying that's happening in the schools. And another 11% don't come out because of past humiliation. So those are some of the things when you're looking at a job and thinking about what to do next. How can you make sure that you get into an environment that's going to support all that you are? So one of the first things is be sure you check out the company and their policy. They should include in their equal opportunity, employment opportunity policy, the words sexual orientation and gender identity. They should have benefits for same-sex partners, transgender health. You should be able to bring your spouse to work and be able to have that be an open and supportive relationship. One of the best things you can look for is employee resource groups. Within companies, they create groups and organizations around affinities, be that as women, people of color, LGBT. If there is an employee resource group, many times you find a lot more progress being made because there's someone working with the top management and HR to make things happen. Secondly, you can do your own research. You can evaluate a company and take a look at the Out and Equal 20 Steps to an Inclusive Workplace. There's a toolkit there to say what are the kind of questions you want to ask or what do you want to see and find out about a company. Of course, the Corporate Equality Index is a big driver there, so you can check out a company if you're working with any of the major organizations. But you can also talk to your own company about maybe they want to submit their name and get involved in this if you don't find them in the CEI. And then finally, Diversity Inc. is an outside the LGBT community that ranks the top 10 companies. So all these are really good resources that you can begin to do your own research when you're starting to think about getting a job. And then use the Internet. Check out the company homepage. Do you see yourself? Do you see LGBT images? Do you see links to their employee resource groups? Are you able to find out something about what their policy and benefits and their positions are and how they're involved? And then search for stories about the companies and LGBT issues. Looking at news. Have they been in the news lately for good things they've done or for issues or problem areas that might be a concern for you? And then find out if they support legislative initiatives. Talking to people, previous employees, is another good way to do that. So what we begin to see then is as you're going through all these steps, you get a pretty good idea of what the world is going to be like in that company. It's not perfect, just like you can a lot of times create a good story around who you are. There still may be problems, but this can at least get you into an environment where you can work and you can be more aware and you can have more support to be all who you are. And finally, when you do start working, make sure that you're doing the best job you can. That's the number one criteria when you start working, and come out, come out, come out. The numbers indicate that if you know someone who's LGBT, you can help break down myths and stereotypes, and people ask you about how the company and how things are with you. When you enter a company, if they have an LGBT employee resource group, join them, and then get educated. You can find allies or be an ally if you're not LGBT, so that individuals know that you're a safe individual to talk to and share their lives with. If something happens, just like with bullying in schools, make sure you report the issues or concerns. And you can network with other companies as you start to get working in your career through things like Out Out and Equal regional affiliates, and then the Out and Equal Summit, and there's some information there. So make that better as you get older and you get out of school, and make sure you stop bullying right before it starts. So, Melissa, back to you, and thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Pat. That was a really wonderful overview.